I'm going to walk through this entire board. We're going to break it down step by step. The first place we're going to start is here in this list. Now, this is going to be your strategy overview. This is an unpublished video that lives on YouTube, but you're the only one who has access to it. So you can come back to it and watch it over and over again. So as soon as I'm finished with the video and it's uploaded to YouTube, that link will be right here under strategy overview. Now, I'd like to put everything at your fingertips here in the mini map. So the member portal, all you have to do is to select here and it will log you into the member portal. Now, your goal, as you've listed, and part of the whole mini map process it's part of the clarity journey. So your goal for Systems by Design is to develop and launch my course on retirement and market it. So that's what we're solely going to be focusing on. Now, hey there, it's Rhonda Melogy. If you like what you're seeing, make sure to hit the subscribe button below so you know when I publish a new video, probably any minute now. One of the things that we've also done here is that there are certain podcast episodes that I did in Business Strategy Radio that I think are helpful to Systems by Design members. And so what I've done is I have listed those right here so you can go through and check those out. Now, a question that you have, I don't have an intake form for this. I have forms for other business. I'm rebranding. I'm separating my coaching from my therapy practice. I am wanting more freedom in my work, so I'm not tied down to hourly wages as well as Medicare insurance. I've trained to do online therapy prior to pandemic, preparing for Medicare to go online. So voila, I'm doing that now, which is awesome and amazing. I have the option of practicing across state lines, and I'm filling out my psychologist passport to do that. So you're sharing your websites here, and is old and need more of a universal appeal since I'll be practicing across state lines and do not want to do Medicare. I want more cash pay. My teaching practice is new. I really want it to be in person, but now with everything happening, we're going online, which is great. It's I think that you're going to find that going from one-to-one, one-to-many is so freeing when it comes to being tied down and moving away from that hourly wage. One of the things that I do want to highlight here are the community threads. So the way that I've broken everything down here in the task list is we say for the next 90 days, each month, I have already written down your one big goal. And so posting that one big goal in the community is part of the accountability. And definitely the action steps that you take each week to then post in the Friday Win threads. You've seen several of them happen now and how that works. And then it's the last Thursday of the month, which is really that transformational Thursday, where you have the opportunity to take a look at where you are at the end of the month and reflect back on where you were at the beginning of the month. I like to post here the daily affirmation, those things that we're thankful for, just as a reminder. Now, as we move through, I'm going to come back and solely focus right here on this task list, but I just do want to go and show you the overview here. So the first thing that you're going to see is eat that frog. Those are these things that you are procrastinating on doing in your business. For you right now, you have blogging. You put things on the table, books, etc., but then you get overwhelmed and you love to research too much, shiny object syndrome. So we're going to keep you focused here in the task list, and then writing my course content. And so really all three of these things here and Eat That Frog are addressed in the task list. You have a goal, we see what your current revenue is, and this is the monthly revenue goal that you want to get to, and take 2 months off or at least 2 weeks a quarter. I love, love, love this. I love the financial goal, but I also love take 2 months off or at least 2 weeks a quarter. One of the things that I really like to do as we get closer to holidays is take that time off as well. So you've written your goals out. I highly recommend that you go back and also take a look at these. And let this also kind of be an accountability to get the work done to accomplish those goals. I'm going to get into what these lists are for product launch. So we have plan of action, roadmap, schedule, implement, and debrief. Then here at the very end, you can see that you have an obstacle. I do my best when I have a partner or accountability person. Otherwise, I get lost in my ideas and do not finish. So I'm really going to challenge you to lean into that community. So you have the community threads, as well as this mini map where it's really laid out for you on what to do every 30 days. So when it comes to your niche, you've defined exactly what it is that you want to do. And the way that I organize business really is in 3 buckets here: revenue generating activities, marketing, and operations. So for you right now, since we're going from one to many, one-on-one, to one to many, some of these things relate. However, I would also say that there is content inside the dashboard that you could use for your one-on-one practice. Like Dubsado, I don't know how you set up your interactions and portals for clients, your counseling clients that you work with, but there is definitely some opportunity in here where things that you can do to add to that practice as well and to serve you. Dubsado being one, there is the 5-minute client onboarding, which I would highly recommend if you don't already have a system to onboard new patients and then have everything in one area. The thing that I love about using Dubsado, it's only like $35 a month. They give you a 20% off coupon, but part of that is a portal that they can log into. Any information, papers, contracts, invoices, those sorts of things can live there. But also in there, you can take notes. Now, I don't know as a therapist how you are taking notes now, but it's really nice that you have all of that information. It's all documented from that person in one central location. So I definitely would take a look at the client management system. I think that that would be really, really helpful for you. We're going to get into marketing. When it comes to operational tasks, there are a couple of things in here. I don't know how you communicate. You probably don't outside of sessions, so I don't know that you would need Slack. Definitely, though, as we move into launching your course, you're going to have reoccurring questions, frequently asked questions. So getting canned email responses together and creating templates inside of Gmail. The other thing is that I would highly recommend, you already have, for whatever reason, I thought that you had said no. You're already using a professional email signature, so that's fantastic. So the only thing that I would say here that we would want to work on is canned email responses, but we'll get into that as we move into your task list right here. You to do that, and Candace is one that I trust, and she can do anything with tech. Now, the other resources that I'm going to share with you here are access to tech tutorials. So I also run Laptop Collective, and I know that you're in Laptop Collective already. So in there, you're going to find a lot of tech tutorials. Don't get overwhelmed. I recommend that you do just-in-time learning. What that means is as we get to that point, then you can use the Laptop Collective and the Tech Lab to access those tech tutorials and answer questions. You're also a member of that community, so if you do have any questions, you can ask in that Facebook group, okay? The other thing, which we just recently had a masterclass with Justin Demers, the Click Go Live. One of the things that you had mentioned is not necessarily being comfortable on camera. I really, really recommend, if anything, go back, take a look at that masterclass. But I think that you're going to just really like his very simple, very approachable approach to video. And so I highly, highly recommend him. The other thing that I have in here, in just kind of thinking about the conversations that you'll ultimately have with some of your clients, is this podcast episode that I did with Brooke Evans. She is a high-ticket coach, and it just did a great podcast episode, How to Sell Without Feeling Salesy. So it's a good listen if you've not already done so, okay? So let's get into and take a look at what your 90-day plan is. The checklist really here is business organization first with your business binder and Trello. Time management rockstar every 90 days. This is so important that we do the time management rockstar. And then the other checklist, and you're already a part of Laptop Collective for the tech tutorials. So I've broken it down into 30-day work to get accomplished. And so what I've done is I have attached You've got the checklist here, but then I also have the individual list over here. And the other thing that I have added in here is the product launch masterclass. So let's just take a look at how that's organized. So you have that 90-day checklist. And here, when we click on the product launch masterclass, this is about an hour plus, an hour 30, hour 45. I'm sorry, part 1. And then part 2 is about 45 minutes. So I've put both of those videos here for you to take a look, okay? And to walk you through. That'd be the first thing that I would recommend doing, because that masterclass walks through all of this information here. So the first thing that we're going to do is to pick a realistic sales goal. And we walk through how to do that, and then we have a webinar calculator. The next thing is a launch strategy, and we go through a launch strategy, the different options to choose from. And then we talk about list building, and I know that you were talking about content and a blog post. So we go through that information as well. Then the roadmap here, it goes through different assets that you're going to need, how to create your product, pitfalls to avoid, ads, when you should use them. Oh yeah, the big elephant in the room, tools and resources for the product production. So it really goes through step by step, and that masterclass walks you through that as well, okay? So going back here to the task list, as soon as you finish something, then all we have to do is to check it off. And you can see where you are in terms of the list and getting things done in August. And then you'll be able to pace yourself. The other thing here is that the activities that you complete here are the accountability thread for the Friday Win thread. And so you can say, for example, next week I've watched the product launch masterclass and have now a good overview of what the work is that I'm planning to get done in August. And then the next week you could say, I've identified my revenue goal, I've scheduled a launch date, and I've identified the type of launch that I want to do. So this really kind of keeps you accountable both here, and then we have those accountability threads inside the community. So this is all really prep work, and I don't try to overwhelm. We'll go through the masterclass, we identify a revenue goal, which you've already said, that ultimately you want $20,000 a month, schedule a launch date. Based on what I have here, August, September, October is a launch date, either October or November. Identify the type of launch that you're going to be doing, the product outline. See, all of these things are now going to start to overcome and complete Eat That Frog. I love this. Research and select the product or membership software. You know that you already want to use Kajabi. I've given you resources for that. The content schedule for month 1. There is a process, so we don't write a blog post for the sake of writing a blog post. We really write a blog post to go ahead and overcome objections from our clients before they bring them up. And I show you a really easy way of doing that by overcoming a vehicle, internal, external. So vehicle, and it's all in the, sorry, I don't mean to be moving so quickly. Give me just 1 second. Launch masterclass. Then you can organize your calendar based on these activities, okay? We're not taking everything on at once here in August. Same thing goes for September. So we've got the content schedule, complete the first module, so we're staying on pace. Then we're going to create the private Facebook community, product graphics, so if you're contracting with Sandy, she can get those done. And then you're going to reach out to your potential customer one-on-one. Create a quick intake form. Google Forms are great and free. The questions you list should have them sharing their pain point, weakness, and goals. So when you get them on a call, you can address their concerns and close with your product. This is almost like an initial launch, just the one-on-one, right? Reaching out to people and almost having them be your beta meaning the first, where they go through the product and they give you feedback. Now here's the thing that I'm going to caution you: never give your product away for free. If you're doing something for them for free, the likelihood of them showing up and actually completing the work, completing the task is less likely than someone having some skin in the game and putting some money down and actually doing the work. Plus you can use their outcomes as your initial testimonials. And again, I referenced the one-on-one with a potential customer, how to sell without feeling salesy. Then we go into the October checklist. I'm not going to read all of this information, but we're hopefully launching end of October, early November. And then I even go into the November checklist. So we go ahead and, at this point, Content Now is a regular, it's part of we have a regular process now to get the content done. Debrief. It's probably one of the most important parts of the process. I do have a checklist for you here in one of the lists at the very end for debrief questions that you need to ask yourself, questions that you can ask your customers who've purchased, and questions you can ask those customers who did not purchase. It's almost as important to find out why they didn't buy as why they purchased, okay? And then just say, congratulations, you did it. This is a huge undertaking to really take the idea that you have and to launch it out into the world, have people go through your program, and then have the transformation that you ultimately wanted them to go through. It's an amazing journey. It's an amazing process. But we walk you through that. We walk you through just focusing on the task at hand. It's really, really important so you don't become overwhelmed. I don't want this to happen, some of those eat the frogs or even some of the obstacles that you've written here. And I've laid it out step by step for you here in the product launch system, really, from the plan of action all the way to the debrief. The only other thing, as we get into, the only other thing that I would recommend probably is SOP frameworks. There are a couple of things in there. If you're doing a challenge, customer service, there are several processes that are done for you. So initially you can plug and play. And then as you gain confidence in launching this program, as you have more students that go through, you can customize, you can switch things up. But the thing that I love about SOP frameworks is that it is a jumping off point. It is a framework, it is a proven process that I have used in my business, my clients are using in their business. So that would be the only additional thing that I would add. But I wouldn't do that right off the bat. Right now, we're just going to focus, number one, on business organization. We can go back to it right here. If you've not already done Time Management Rockstar, we're going to get that done. You're already part of Laptop Collective, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now we're going to go through, and this is what we're going to work on for August. And since you have a couple of weeks, I'd go ahead and get a jump start. And based on your pockets of time, I would schedule in this learning and watch just the overview of the product launch masterclass. All right, again, Karen, I was excited when we were on the phone talking about your project. I think it is just, I love it. I love everything about it. And it certainly is a community that is underserved, and I feel like you can do really well. So, this overview is for you to go back and watch several times if you need to. And then just tag me inside the community and ask your questions and really keep yourself accountable here in these community threads, because we want to see you launch at the end of October, early November, and start collecting the data. The best thing about that first launch, it seems a little bit overwhelming, it seems a little bit daunting, but just think about it as data points. We want to collect as much data as we can to help us prepare for the next launch. All right, again, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your journey. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Click the link. It's the first link. We make it super simple for any of the tools and resources that we talked about in today's video, helping you make it easy for your freedom to impact.